A young man named David, a congressman who was rapidly moving up the political ladder with his team, was facing an important career stage. He did everything possible to get around the competitor and take the coveted place. But suddenly, pictures from his turbulent youth appear in the local newspaper, because of which the politician's reputation is rapidly collapsing, and as a result, he is defeated in the elections. Despite the setback, David still needs to address the voters, and he retreats to the bathroom to rehearse his speech. Suddenly, a girl comes out of a booth that seemed to be empty. A conversation begins between them, and a mutual attraction instantly arises between them. The stranger unexpectedly kisses David goodbye, and at the same moment his friend Charlie enters the room. This short meeting with the girl fills the congressman with inspiration, and, going out to the public, he abandons the previously memorized text, deciding to speak from the heart. His improvised speech causes delight and a warm response from the audience. After a while, David is going to go to the office. At the same time, two men in hats are discussing that it is at a certain moment that he should accidentally spill coffee on himself. But Harry, who is assigned this task, is late, and David calmly boards the bus. There, he meets the same girl again. Delighted by this chance meeting, they exchange smiles. The girl introduces herself as Eliza and leaves him her phone number. When David returns to work, he doesn't notice anything strange at first, but soon realizes that the staff seems to have frozen in place. Opening the door to Charlie's office, he finds unknown people there, who are using mysterious devices to investigate something. Frightened, he tries to escape, but they catch up to him and put him to sleep. When David comes to, he hears a strange conversation. It turns out that the kidnappers are going to erase his memory, but they have no right to do so without permission from the Supreme. Their leader, a man named Richardson, reveals to David the shocking truth. It turns out that there are no real accidents in the world, and everyone's life follows a prearranged plan known only to the Supreme. Now that David has found out the secret, he can't tell anyone about it. Otherwise, the agents will erase his memory, turning him into a helpless man, barely able to connect a few words. But that's not all. He is strictly forbidden to meet with Eliza. Her number is burned by agents right in front of his eyes, and David himself is returned to the office where Charlie finds him. The hero is in complete confusion, but his thoughts are occupied with only one thing, the very girl with whom he can no longer be around. 3 years pass. David lives quietly, without asking unnecessary questions. However, he continues to take the same bus to work every day where he once met Eliza. And one day, fate brings them together again. He notices a girl on the street and cannot pass by. Canceling all meetings, he invites her to a cafe. But the Bureau's agents immediately register this deviation from the plan and begin the hunt. They are doing everything possible to separate them again. In the end, they succeed. Charlie reminds David of an important interview necessary for his career. The hero arranges to meet with Eliza later, because she has to have a rehearsal nearby. But the Bureau intervenes and changes the place of her studies. David notices suspicious people outside the window and realizes that they are the ones behind all the obstacles. He cancels the interview and rushes to Eliza, but does not have time to catch her. Then he decides to cheat. In a cafe, he finds out from a visitor the real address of the girl's dance school. Richardson soon appears and reminds him again that David is forbidden to be near the dancer. But the man understands that even this man in the hat does not know the true reasons for the ban. The Supreme does not disclose his plans to anyone. The hero rushes to his beloved, but the agents get in his way again. He fails to catch a taxi, or the car suddenly gets into an accident. The Bureau staff is doing everything possible to prevent him from seeing Eliza on stage. After all, if this happens, there will be some kind of energy surge, after which it will be impossible to separate them. Despite all the traps, David finds a way around them. But he does not suspect that now their case will be handled by people of higher rank. Richardson's colleagues find out that in the old versions of the plan, Eliza and David were really supposed to be together. But in 2005, the script was changed. Now the girl was supposed to marry choreographer Adrian. To sort out the situation, the Bureau calls Senior Supervisor Thompson. Meanwhile, David and Eliza enjoy the evening at the dance and then spend the night together. While they are sleeping, Thompson enters their house and watches them. In the morning, Eliza dials her ex several times, which seems strange because he has not shown signs of life for 3 months. David suggests that she go with him to an interview so as not to part. But while he is giving an interview, a man comes to Eliza, who introduces himself on his behalf. He tells the girl that David will call later, but he is supposedly in a hurry on business. Meanwhile, the agents cleverly lure David to Thompson, who reveals an even darker truth. For centuries, the Bureau has been monitoring humanity. When people were given freedom, wars, epidemics, economic crises, and poverty began. So decades ago, the organization took control again, directing the destinies of people for the sake of progress and to avoid disasters. If David stays with Eliza, he will never become president. But the man doesn't care. He goes to her performance anyway. Thompson warns that their love will destroy her fate because next to him, Eliza will not have a career as a ballerina, but a job teaching children's dances. At that moment, David sees her fall on stage and realizes that fate is merciless to both of them. At the hospital, David says goodbye to Eliza, deciding not to interfere in her life, even if it breaks his heart. He leaves, leaving behind love and hope. 11 months pass. David's career is skyrocketing, but one day Charlie brings the newspaper with the news Eliza is getting married. The hero takes this news hard. His feelings for her have not faded. Harry soon contacts him and tells him about his father. He sympathizes with David and decides to break the Bureau's rules to help him. To prevent Thompson from tracking the hero, Harry gives him his hat and explains how to use the portal doors. The risk is huge. If he gets caught, his memory will be erased. Meanwhile, Eliza goes to the bathroom trying to collect her thoughts before the wedding. Deep down, she realizes that she does not love the groom because her heart belongs to David. He manages to get to her just a few minutes before the ceremony. He asks for forgiveness and confesses his love. But the agents find them. Then, David grabs Eliza by the hand and leads her through a door, revealing to her a completely different world, the existence of which she did not even know. Now they have to hide, not knowing if they can keep their memories. Despite the danger, the lovers decide to be together until the end. One of the doors leads them to the Statue of Liberty, where there is no exit or way back. Eliza is confused. She doesn't understand why they are being persecuted. David realizes that it is impossible to run endlessly. He remembers Harry's words, "If you turn the doorknob to the left, you can get to a special place." The hero decides to find the Supreme and ask to change the plan so that they can be together. Eliza agrees to take the risk. So they find themselves in a huge hall that looks like an endless library. Their presence is immediately noticed, and opening one door after another, they climb higher and higher until they find themselves on the roof with no exit. Thompson and his guards find them there. Realizing that their memories will soon be erased, David and Eliza kiss as if for the last time. But suddenly, the guards disappear. Harry appears and reads out the Supreme Court's order. From now on, David and Eliza are allowed to be together. A man retains his memory, and lovers get the right to their own path. David begins to suspect that the Supreme is Harry himself, but he denies it. He says that their boss can appear to people in a variety of guises, and most often no one notices him. David thanks Harry for his help, after which he regains his hat and disappears. This concludes the story. Subscribe to the channel and like it.